Good morning everyone. My name is Laura Stranks and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. Thanks for joining me this morning. I'm just going to show you how to make this. It's called an Interlocking Fun Fold card. The DSP I've used on this one is retiring at the end of April, so you won't be able to use, well, if you're doing classes like I do, I won't be using it anymore, and I've got a little bit there, so I thought I'd use some of it up on this card. The card I'm doing will be using products from the next annual catalogue, which starts at the beginning of May for customers. Pre-order is for demonstrators from, I think, the 2nd of April, so you can get that now. This is how the card works. There's a little interlocking piece here where this die here tucks in under this one here, and you open it up and it's just a gatefold card. So it's not difficult to do and not a lot of pieces. So that just goes in there, and then this little flap here tucks in under there like so, and then that sits down like that. I'll just mention a couple of things before I start. My Facebook group, which is a very large group, it's called Laura's Craft Room Tips and Tutorials. You're welcome to join that. There is a couple of questions when you ask to join, and two of them are why you wish to join the group, and also that you agree to the rules of the group. If you can't find them on the device that you're on, try going on to a different device. So if you're on your phone and you don't see those two questions, try your iPad or your PC. My YouTube channel, if you're watching today, is called Creative Gems, and if you wish to subscribe to that, I'd love to have you on board. Just tick the little like button and also the subscribe. When you go into subscribe, there's a little bell there that will notify you when my videos go up. I have got a Facebook page. It's called Cards by Laura. In that one, there is just pictures of all the cards that I make. My group, which is the Tips and Tutorials group, in there are all the PDFs for these cards, along with the link to the video today. So if you want any of the tutorials, they're in the Files tab in there. I also do live videos in that group every Saturday morning. So we shall get started. I'll put that aside and we shall get going. I've prepped everything today as I usually do, and I shall give you the measurements up front. You can take a screenshot, or these will be in the description box of the video today. So you won't need to write them all down, but you can take a screenshot if you wish to do that. The pieces we have, and I'll show you what I've used. The new colour Summer Splash and Pretty Peacock for these. My base is the Summer Splash. It's 11.5 inches by 4 1/4. This card was originally by, and I'm not sure, I'll just have a look at my notes. I think I wrote it down somewhere. Got a big notebook here. Stamptastic Designs was where I got it from, but I have changed her measurements because in Australia our A4 cardstock, we can get 11.5 out, so I wanted this a bit longer than she had. 11 inches there, so this one is for 11.5 by 4 1/4, which is this one here in the Summer Splash, one of the new in colours. I've got two embossed pieces, which are, one is front and one is inside, and I've decorated them. I'll show you the stamp sets and dies and everything at the end. These are my two embossed pieces. I've used this new, and it's in the new catalogue. It's called Eyelet, and it's a 3D embossing folder. Just tiny little flowers all over it. It's very pretty. That's the one I've used there. That's in the background of that. This is Pretty Peacock. Those two measure 4 inches by 2 5/8, and you need 2 of those. Then the DSP as well. So these ones, one goes on the front and one goes on the inside, like so. they are the same size, 4 inches by 2 5/8, and you need 2 of those. This paper, which is really, really pretty, we were allowed to do this on stage on a product purchase premiere, PPP. It's called Unbounded Beauty, and these are the patterns. I'll just show you some of them here. Very pretty. Love that summer splash. And there's Pretty in Pink, Petunia Pop. That's the Petunia Pop, the purpley bright one. That's that one there. Very pretty patterns. That's an original. Oh, that's Peach Pie. There's a new colour in here, Peach Pie. Very nice patterns on this. I can see me using lots of this. And they're all lots of the new colours. There's also Shy Shamrock, which is not in this pack. It's more of a greeny, bit like a shamrock colour. So that's the paper, and it's called. It came in a suite. It's called Unbounded Beauty, the DSP, and the 2 stamp sets. It's a big suite, so it costs you a little bit more. These 2 stamp sets come in, Unbounded Love and Flowers of Beauty, and they've got dies with both of them. I'll show you those inside in a minute. The front pieces, the inside first, we'll get back to this. That's those pieces. The inside colour mat, which I've done Pretty Peacock, it's 5.5 by 4 inches, and the white piece here is 5 1/4 by 3 3/4. So I've adjusted that size to the original design to fit the size that I've made it. The die cut colour, these are the pieces for the front. That's this one here in Pretty Peacock. It depends on what size circle you want to use. This original one is I'm not sure what set it's out of now. That they measure 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, and then you just die cut whatever. This is the Decal Circles die that I'm using on this one. So I've used all 3. You just need some layering circles or squares. You could put squares on the front if you wish. And then the white piece on the front is 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. And then you need another smaller white one, which is 2 1/2 by 2 1/2. So if you use those measurements, whatever size die fits on them, you'll get it in okay. And then some scrap for decorations and whatever else you need, and DSP if you're using scrap DSP. I just put some detailed cut-out pieces on that. Now, this piece here, I've already scored it at 2 7/8, and I'll show you what I did. I prefer to do it this way than going across. So I've got 2 7/8 here. Move your cutter out of the road. 2 7/8. Rotate 180 degrees and score at 2 7/8. I don't go 2 7/8 and then right across to whatever that one works out at. I prefer to do one on each end. That way you know they're exactly the same length from each side. And then when you fold those, like so, we'll go this way because the cut line's the other way. Just fold them into the centre and burnish. And this one here into the centre and burnish. And you'll see that they line up exactly in the centre. If you do it the other way and you're a little bit out, they won't line up here. So that's how I've done that piece. That's the only scoring you needed to do. So I'll show you the rest of, I've showed you the dies, the 3 Decal Circles. The colours I've stamped with are Pretty Peacock and Summer Splash. That's those 2. The Flowers of Beauty are these here on these embossed pieces. That is the die from the Flowers of Beauty stamp set and bundle. So that one's that one there. The stamps that I used, lots of, this one here is beautiful. It cuts out all these, there's 8 little flowers, a large one and a small one on a strip, which saves you lots of time. My greetings, I will keep on this one here. The images that I've done here, I've done Pretty Peacock first in this one here, and then I've stamped over with the Summer Splash over the top to give me those. The Happy Birthday is from the other coordinating set in this suite. It's called Happy Birthday There. Unbounded Love, sorry, it's called. And the Celebrate is also from this set, which is just here. That little stamp is in the other one, I think, yes. Or is it in this one? No, it's in the other one. This one here. That's the little leaf on the edge of that. And I've done that in Summer Splash. The embellishments that I've used, these are the new in colours. 2024 to 2026 in colour resin dots. And that's what I've used on those. I've got 3 larger ones on there and 2 small ones on that one. So I'll show you how they all work in a minute. I'll put all this away. I think that's everything I needed to explain as we go. And now we can just go ahead and assemble. So you've got those 2 pieces. Now one of these goes on the front and one of your DSP goes on the front. You could put 2 DSP on the front or 2 of the embossed ones on the front if you wish, but I'm going to alternate them. And I shall get my silicone mat and we'll just put a little bit of glue on the backs of these. I'll use my multi-purpose glue because I want to make sure I get it nice and straight with the lining it up on the front. So we'll just use a little bit of glue. Now these, it doesn't look like it's any direction, but I like this little flower here which is sitting upright. We'll put this one over this side. Hope everyone's had a lovely weekend. Oops, knocking that on the floor. I went to On Stage a few weeks ago, had a wonderful time. That was down in Melbourne, and we found out next year's On Stage will be in Brisbane, which is where I live. I'm on the outskirts on the south side of Brisbane, so it saves me airfares and accommodation. I've got maybe a couple of ladies here staying with me while it's on. They're from interstate, and if the other lady does decide to come, she's from New Zealand. So that will be nice. And then my best buddy, I just wanted to show you, this was a pillow gift from my best buddy, my crafting buddy. She gave myself one of these. It's a pick tool. It comes apart like so. Beautiful, beautiful marbly type handle on it. And I'm going to cherish that. I'm only using it in my craft room. I'm not taking it anywhere that it might get mislaid. So this one here, this one I'm going to put on this side. Yes, we had a wonderful time down there. We got there Thursday around lunchtime, checked straight into our accommodation. Where we stayed was at the where the on stage was being held at the convention centre. Our accommodation was attached to that. You just had to go down in the lift and across our walkway and down another down the escalator, and we were there. So it was really, really good, nice and handy. Didn't have to walk too far. And if you wanted to go back to your room for anything or just to have a rest, it was right there. So that will be nice. With Brisbane, I will probably travel backwards and forwards each day instead of staying in the city. Save myself a few dollars with accommodation. So that's that there. This here, these are the flowers out of that Flowers of Beauty set. And I'm just going to adhere this one onto the Pretty Peacock piece. This is quite a simple card to do, but pretty effective. So that's that one, and then we'll adhere that to the inside. Once you've cut all your pieces, it's pretty easy to do. I always cut everything first before I start assembling. in case you've made an oops. Centre that nicely in the middle. You could die cut some of this, like this green one here, and put down in here as well, in the Summer Splash or the Pretty Peacock. So that's the front. Now this is the only, it's not a tricky bit, but you've got to make sure you get this piece right. I'll put the lid on my glue. Now this one here, I've already put dimensionals on the back, and I've kept these are offcuts around the edge of my dimensionals. I've kept them in the middle because this piece here, and it only has dimensionals down one side, that's going to slot in like that. So you don't want your dimensionals right out to the edge of this. Keep them back a little bit. You could slot some over the other side here on the edge. I might put a couple in after, but just make sure on this side, and also this piece here, it only gets adhered on this side of the card, on the left hand side, so you don't want anything over this side, because that's how you're going to open the whole thing up. So we shall put this piece onto here first. I might even put some dimensionals over the other side. We'll just get those out, because I know which side the greeting is going to go on. It'll be over this side, so we can put a couple out to the edge on this side. It's not going to affect the mechanism. Take all the backs off those. Just get my little dish out. Always like a little dish on my desk to put all my scraps and things in, so you're not having to clean up so much later. You just tip it into the bin. Because this is a circle, it doesn't matter. So long as I've got my dimensionals on the left-hand side of this, and that one there, so long as you line your happy birthday up with nice and straight on the other circle underneath. And we've got none around this side. I could probably put one up under here, which I think I will before I start and put it together. I just don't want to put them down this end where take the back off that one first. Under there, just to make sure it sits up nicely. And now this one here, it's going to slot in like that, and just make sure these are over on the right hand side, and that's going to sit under there like so. Now when you put this on, we'll do this part first. This is the larger circle. Take the backs off those. Leave that slotted in there, like so. So it's nice and straight with the one above. And then we're going to put that down. It can be a little bit to the left-hand side. It doesn't go right in the centre. You've got to make sure that you can fit the this other greeting on. Now I haven't taken the backs off this one yet, but you can slot that one down, and you know that's going to fit there. So we can take the backs off this one. Very quick card today. And then it slots in between those two, and wherever you want to put it on that side, round about there. And that's how it works. I've already put my embellishments on, so that will open up like so. When you close it up, just slot that one in under there, like so. And that is it. I hope you like that one. Very pretty. One of my favourite. It's more of a aqua. It reminds me of Bermuda Bay, this new colour that we've got. They're the colours I've used. Thanks for joining me today. That was pretty quick today. I'll see you all again next week, and I hope you have a lovely week. Bye for now.